This is a solar system scale model. This model is scaled to both size of the planets and sun and also the distances between them. We're zooming into the scale model, and this is about a half-mile long scale model. The planets are represented by various objects and also the sun. It's based on 1 inch equal to 100,000 miles. First of all, we're starting with the sun, which is the yellow pinpoint, and we see we're at the start of a street. The sun's represented by volleyball. It's 8 inches across, which represents 800,000 miles in real life. Next, we have Mercury is ahead of a pin. Then we have Venus, which is the size of a peppercorn, and Earth is also about the size of a peppercorn. Venus and Earth are roughly the same size. And then we're going to go out to Mars, and Mars is represented by the head of the pin. Mars is smaller than Venus and Earth, but bigger than Mercury. We're going to kind of change our perspective. We're going to twirl around, and we're going to kind of fly around from planet to planet. And again, we're at the bus loop of the school. You can see the street, and we're going to kind of fly around. And you can see that the inner planets, the distance between the inner planets is relatively smaller distances. As we get out to the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, the distances become greater. Jupiter is represented by a rubber ball. It's around 9/10 of an inch, and as you can see, as we go to Saturn, the distances become greater. You can see again the scale. You can see cars. Saturn's represented by a hazelnut. It's a little bit smaller than Jupiter, and we continue flying. The distances become even greater with Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. As we fly over, we see some cars and various trees and houses, and we're going to approach a park. And as we come to Uranus, we're going to see that Uranus in this model is represented by a peanut. Uranus and Neptune are roughly the same size, both in this scale model and in real life. Here we're going to be flying to Uranus, and if you do this scale model in real life, it takes about 30 to 40 minutes. Again, you're walking roughly half a mile from the sun to Pluto, and then you have to walk back, so that's about a mile total. Here we have Neptune, and also it's represented by a peanut. And finally, we're going to go out to Pluto, which has recently been demoted as a planet, but we're keeping it in this scale model just for historical purposes and comparison purposes. And we're at the end of the street. We're going to go to about the baseball fields, and Pluto's about 0.5. And one good thing about this scale model, if you're to look back at the sun from Pluto, you can't see it. If you're as the real sun, if you were to look up, and students get a real sense of the size and distance in this scale model. They really understand it in a much better sense than it is simply in a book. I highly recommend doing a scale model like this. It's very eye-opening to the students. So that concludes. We're going to take another kind of a all-encompassing shot here from Pluto all the way down to our beginning sun. And as you can see, again, the size and breadth.